In today's world, masculinity is caught in a storm of contradictions. Men are bombarded with conflicting messages: be stoic yet sensitive, dominant yet deferential, assertive yet apologetic. The cultural narrative swings between extremes, leaving little room for nuance or authenticity. Social media, with its endless scroll of outrage, has amplified this chaos, creating echo chambers where anger, blame, and ego drown out clarity. For many men, the search for meaning leads them straight into the toxic underbelly of the internet, the so-called manosphere, a space often more interested in posturing than progress. But beneath this noise, a quieter movement is taking shape. It's not flashy, it's not loud, and it's not built on promises of quick fixes or superficial dominance. This movement is about real masculinity, grounded, purposeful, and resilient. It's led not by influencers shouting into microphones but by coaches, men who understand that true strength comes from discipline, not bravado. These are men who've walked the path, faced their own struggles, and emerged with a clarity that cuts through the chaos. Modern masculinity isn't broken because men are inherently weak, it's broken because men are lost. Society offers little guidance on what it means to be a man today. Traditional roles have shifted, and while change isn't inherently bad, it's left a void. Men are told to reject old models of masculinity, stoicism, provision, protection, without being offered a coherent alternative. Instead, they're fed extremes, either suppress their strength to fit a softened ideal or embrace a caricature of dominance peddled by self-styled gurus. The manosphere, with its red pill rhetoric and alpha male posturing, preys on this confusion. It promises answers but delivers division. It thrives on resentment, against women, society, or even other men, turning insecurity into a warped sense of superiority. Its loudest voices sell fantasies of control, wealth, and power, but these are hollow. They leave men chasing fleeting validation instead of building lasting purpose. The result? A generation of men caught between anger and apathy, unsure of who they're supposed to be. They're not weaker than their fathers or grandfathers, they're just navigating a world that's harder to read. And in that uncertainty, they're vulnerable to the loudest voices, not the wisest ones. Away from the podcasts, the clickbait, and the rage-fueled forums, something different is emerging. A new masculine movement is rising, one that doesn't rely on noise or nostalgia but on clarity and commitment. This movement isn't about reclaiming some mythical past or fighting imaginary enemies. It's about building men who are whole, emotionally grounded, mentally sharp, and physically capable. At the heart of this shift are coaches, real men who lead by example. These aren't the chest-thumping alphas of the manosphere. They're mentors who've done the work, faced their failures, questioned their assumptions, and built lives of purpose. They don't offer shortcuts or slogans. They offer structure. Coaching, in this context, isn't about motivational speeches or feel-good platitudes. It's a disciplined process that helps men rebuild from the ground up. It starts with hard questions. What do you value? What are you avoiding? Where are you lying to yourself? These questions cut through the fog, forcing men to confront their fears, insecurities, and excuses. From there, coaches provide tools, not just advice, but practical systems for growth. This might mean daily habits to build discipline, like consistent exercise or journaling. It might mean accountability groups where men can be honest without judgment. It might mean learning to regulate emotions, not by suppressing them, but by understanding them. The goal isn't to make men harder or softer, it's to make them whole. This process is built on 3 pillars: clarity, defining what matters most. A man without a purpose is like a ship without a compass, adrift, reactive, and easily swayed. Coaches help men identify their values and align their actions with them. Discipline, turning intention into action. Real change doesn't come from inspiration, it comes from consistent, deliberate effort. Coaches teach men to build habits that endure, even when motivation fades. Brotherhood, no man thrives alone. The manosphere thrives on competition, but true growth comes from connection. Coaches foster communities where men can be vulnerable, challenge each other. This new masculinity redefines what it means to be strong. It's not about being the loudest in the room or dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. It's about carrying responsibility, not just for yourself, but for those around you. It's about leading with calm confidence, not performative aggression. Strength, in this sense, is multifaceted: emotional strength, the ability to feel deeply without being ruled by emotions. It's about processing anger, fear, or grief without lashing out or shutting down. Mental strength, the discipline to focus, to say no to distractions, and to act in alignment with your values, even when it's hard. Physical strength, not just for aesthetics, but as a foundation for resilience. A strong body supports a strong mind. Moral strength, doing what's right, even when it's unpopular. Standing for something bigger than yourself. This strength isn't built in isolation. It's forged in the crucible of honest relationships, whether with a coach, a mentor, or a group of men committed to the same path. It's not about being perfect, it's about being accountable. Beyond the manosphere. The manosphere offers a seductive lie, that masculinity is about power over others. It reduces men to stereotypes: hunters, conquerors, kings, while ignoring the complexity of being human. It's a trap, one that leaves men angrier and more isolated than before. The new masculine movement is different. It's not about dominance, it's about service. It's not about ego, it's about impact. It's not about tearing others down, it's about building yourself and those around you up. Coaches in this space aren't selling a persona, they're teaching a process. They're not promising you'll win at life, they're helping you define what winning means for you. If you're a man reading this, and you're tired of the noise, tired of the anger, the confusion, the endless posturing, know this: there's a better way. You don't need to scream to be heard. You don't need to dominate to be respected. You don't need to follow someone else's script to be a man. Find structure. Seek out a coach or a community that challenges you to grow, not just to perform. Commit to the work, because real masculinity isn't found in shortcuts or rants. It's built through discipline, reflection, and connection. The strongest men aren't the loudest. They're the ones who know who they are, what they stand for, and where they're going. They're the ones who found clarity in the chaos, and who lead others to do the same. Join them. Not in the echo chambers, but in the quiet work of becoming whole.